I was born in the city, so going to the field for farming was a new thing for me. So I was very, very young. Walking 22 kilometers per day wasn't a joke. Everyone knew about my story. Like, I was very bright in school, so everyone was touched about the story around that. Okay, maybe after I finish my grade 7, I might not be able to go to secondary school. I also want to comment on a girl child or on a boy child who might today is thinking that life is bleak. There isn't any hope anymore. Do not lose hope.
Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with the Dreamers. I am your host, Petronella Mnenja, and as always, I am so excited to be the one who platforms these phenomenal men and women who are doing the most, who are moving and shaking things in their personal lives, in the community, and in the world. And y'all, today, my guest, she is a phenomenal woman who is doing the most. She is an agronomic engineer. I don't know what that means. She's going to have to tell me. She's a seasoned environmental sustainability professional. She founded Chashi Foods, an environmental health company. I don't even know what it does, but I know it does a lot of good. And I can't wait to hear all about it, all the way from rural Zimbabwe to the UK, taking over the environmental space. She's humble. She is amazing. She is brilliant. And today we are going to hear all about her, the one and only Miss Forget Shareka. Welcome to Conversations with the Dreamers. How are you, Forget?
Thank you, Petty. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and feature on the podcast. That's great and amazing, right?
Absolutely.
I'm okay. How are you doing today?
I am good. It's been one of those weeks where everything just goes haywire. But you know what? I'm so excited to end my week with having a conversation with you. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that. So I tried to introduce you, but I think I butchered that. So before we start talking about everything else, tell us about who you are. Who is Forget right now? What does she do?
So obviously, I'm from Zimbabwe. I grew up in the northern part of Zimbabwe in Lower Guruve. I'm a farmer, so I love to say that I'm a farmer, so that makes me like easily relate with the people, because I also work a lot with farmers. So, but I'm an educated farmer. So I'm an agronomic engineer by profession. I have a licentiate degree in agricultural sciences from Edie University in Costa Rica. I'm also a business person. Okay, maybe let's term it entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur with a master's degree in entrepreneurship and innovation from the University of Edinburgh. I am a founder, advocate for girls, women and youth empowerment. I also do a lot of advocacy around climate action. I'm a sister. So your big sister is saying hi. I'm an aunt. So professionally, I work in environment and sustainability. So I work in telecoms, the environmental compliance manager. Don't mind terminology. Might make it look too fancy. Well, it is a fancy job, right? But just like the way maybe the name, it is a bit longer. So that's a bit about myself.
Okay, Miss Forget. She is an educated farmer. I got that part. I think I was struggling trying to understand the definitions, but I'm so excited. So we now know who Miss Forget is today. Let's take the story back to Lower Guruve. You said you're from Lower Guruve. Tell us about that. Tell us about where you were born and your childhood. How was it like growing up in Lower Guruve?
So I was born in Chinoy. So if you are from Chi Town, Your homie saying hi.
If people hear Chi-town, they usually think Chitungwiza, so be careful.
Okay, not Chi-town of Chitungwiza, no, Chinoi. Yeah, so I was born in Chinoi. Lost my mother at a very young age. So I was taken to my rural home, and I was raised by my late grandmother on a farm. So I'm also a village girl, but who is a global citizen, right? So if you are from the village, your village girl is also here. So I did my primary school and secondary school in Mushumbi, and then got the opportunity for further education to go to start in Costa Rica. So me growing up on a farm now makes a lot of sense, because it has that kind of upbringing shaped my career, my passion. And most of the things that I do revolve around helping a farmer, improving maybe farming condition, maybe creating resilience in agriculture, agribusiness. So I think that upbringing had played a major part to shape the person that I am. I love nature, and then I work in environment and sustainability. I protect the people, I protect the planet while helping the business make more money.
Okay, that's a very interesting answer. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit more. You said you were in Chinoy, and then your mom passed on, and then you moved to your rural home. How was it like then adjusting to a new environment and growing up there?
It was, truly speaking, it was tough. I went to stay, that was my first time to go to my father's family. So it's like you are in a new environment. Yes, they are your relatives, but you are not used to them. Also, it's a transition. You're transitioning from a city to go in a rural area. In Chinoi, get water on the tap. In Mshumbi, you go and fetch water at the boil. Do you get what I mean? So it was a complete change that took a lot of perseverance, resilience, adaptation as well, to adapt to the environment. I was born in the city, so going to the field for farming was a new thing for me. Right, so everything was new. No electricity, no tarred roads, new people. So I can just tell you what happened. So I was crying during my journey going to Mshumbi while I was with my grandmother. So we got in the mountainous area. We saw the sheep. My grandmother lied to me that it was lions. Right? So, and she said, if you continue to cry that you want to go back, these lions will eat you. So she used that tactic for the first. I think I attempted a couple of times to go back to the main dust road where we catch the bus, trying to escape. And then when I come back home, she was like, "Where were you? Don't you know that they're lions? Those white lions we saw." White lions we saw. It's funny because I didn't understand what was that, right? And then later on, when I just grow up and visit my auntie, so where she stayed, there were sheep. I was like, oh, but my grandmother said it's lions. I was like, no, they are sheep. They don't do anything. So you can just imagine. But I don't regret changing the environment. It's a situation that I found myself in. I think that also worked in my favor in terms of molding my character, pushing me out of my comfort zone. So it makes me really appreciate life.
Thank you for sharing that. And bless your heart, bless your grandmother's heart. Adults used to do that all the time, didn't they? I think
growing up, there was this thing. Chekuti waitumwa panze manheru vari mumba wati ndirikukuona. You're like, and you know, I think it's quite interesting, you know, realizing ndaitovharwa papai. Okay.
Kuvarwa kunyeperwa kunzi waishumba ndakatozvibhilivha.
I know. That's so funny. So let's talk about school then in Mushambi. How was it? Like, you talked about how you're trying to adjust to the home, to the people and all that. And I can imagine how that then transitioned to the classroom. How was learning in Mushambi?
Yeah, so learning in Mushambi was difficult. I used to live 10 kilometers, almost 10, 11 kilometers away from the school.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine I'm just from the city. So I just came in, I think it was around June time, 2000,
mm-hmm.
and start again like preschool.
Mm.
And then, so after a couple of months, I started going to school,
mm-hmm.
right? So I was very, very young. So walking, let's say 22 kilometers per day wasn't a joke. So to begin with, my grandmother was around 86 years old. She was old, but I think like she has that like kind of she was like a hard mashona that doesn't age. So like, you know, like aging, like looking at people of her age and herself, she was looking younger than them. So she still remains my heroine, my champion. She had all the best plans for myself to get education, although it was beyond her reach. So I still remember we used to go and weed for other people's farms to get some money. So my grandmother could be given money with my aunties or my uncles. So she had this thing of she just could tie the money on the corner of the Zambia. So it's the money for salt. She could just give it out. So part of my education was supported by BEAM at one point. At one point, it was supported by World Vision, and she was also doing her best. I think the major challenge came when it was almost time for me to write my grade 7 and now transition to secondary school. I come from a family that like we have all the males in my family like a bit educated than the ladies. And I don't want to put it in a bad way. Because people are surrounded by beliefs, maybe traditions, the norms that they grow up in such kind of a situation. And then because it's the environment they grow up in and they have that belief and think that is right. Right. So by that time, the most educated female in my family had completed her ZJC. So it's one of my aunties. So people be like, oh yeah, Mabo, she's called Mabo, so Auntie Mabo is educated. So I didn't want to be like her in terms of like I go and do a ZJC and call myself educated in that manner. So it was a problem like for me to get education to the extent that I had to leave my home. And go and stay with now my mom. She's now like my mother to me. She was a librarian at my primary school, like really nice. And today I just thank God that I now have to call her my mom. So she took me in. So there was an arrangement that maybe I come and work like sort of like a maid or a helper while she's paying for my secondary school. Everyone knew about my story. Like I was very bright in school. So from Girl Child Network, drama, quiz, you name it yourself. fact. So people knew that I was a star. So everyone was touched about the story around that, okay, maybe after I finish my grade 7, I might not be able to go to secondary school. I went against the will of my family members. I went to stay with her on my free will for my good, not because I was disrespectful. It's only that we had different opinions. My opinion that I wanted to go further with education. They saw it in a different way. So it's just good. Sometimes we have to have different opinion and just agree and maybe be respectful. So I just grow up that kind of a person. I don't argue with people. I just do if I perceive that is in the best interest of myself, I can choose to follow okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to follow. So that's what happened. So it was difficult. Now I'm also going to stay with another family. And also I do have big aspirations. I do have big dreams that I did not even know whether they would materialize, because in the village, there is no one you can point as a role model, right? Apart from the teachers at school, the nurses at the clinic, the policemen at the police station. So these are the people that you see, and there is nothing outside civil servant, basic. Yeah, these are civil servants who provide basic needs to the community. So there isn't anything beyond that. So I didn't also have a role model. My grandmother wanted me to be a teacher. She could imagine me in use and call me the mistress, right? Because I am going to be a mistress. And now I understand the mistress. I was like, what was she calling me again? Right? So it was a difficult and a rough journey. Eventually, I just stayed with my mom January, February. Then I went to a boarding school. Comfort just came and chipped in, put me in a boarding school. And that changed the trajectory of my life, which is the main reason today I support girls. I support others who are trying to apply for scholarship. I also do a lot of supporting of orphanages in Zimbabwe as well, because I grown up an orphan. People had to come for my rescue for education. And I got the best education, not in the best possible conditions. So, for example, when I was reading for primary, we don't have electricity. I had to go and fetch firewood for me to be able to read in the evening. Right? And because I wanted always to be number one, so there was a trade-off that you stay late nights and you are reading not with a lamp, because we need to save paraffin, You can't just waste paraffin. So I had to just go and fetch some twigs for me to be able to use. So going to a boarding school is that pain. And at the school, there was electricity. There was a generator. What I wanted to be also evolved. At one point, I wanted to be maybe a banker. Right? And then, but if people are grouped the A students, A, B, C, D, I think we had F, E, F, if not mistaken. And then people in A are the stars, type of things they are given, sciences. So I was in an A class, but I wasn't good with technical graphics. So one of my teachers, I'm not going to mention his name, but he did not like me because of that, because he thought that I was going to mess around years past, right? But when I went home for a holiday, it also changed how I wanted to see things happening. And it also changed my career aspiration. I went home, then saw an ox being mistreated and almost hit a girl. And then when I went back to school, I thought that maybe I can be a vet. But now I was not doing any of like agriculture, but I didn't know, I thought that if you want to be a vet, like you need to be more of an agriculture person. So that was like a fight for me to move from an A class, because I think people who were in C were doing agriculture. Right. So I had to fight for me to go, but I did not go alone. I think it was also a turning point in understanding influence. Right. So I fought the battle, but I fought the battle for a lot of people who were doing computers, technical graphics, that ended up doing agriculture. So we changed the rule. But again, something funny happened. And that removed me from the agriculture class. And now I had no practical, and everyone's telling me that if you do not have practical, you're not going to write O-level. Right? It was difficult. So I guess this stayed. I don't know, but I'm a very driven person. I'm very determined. I'm very focused. If I say this is what I want to do, even if there is no way, I find a way of doing it.
How did you become that person?
How did I?
How did you become? No, because I know it's a very unfair question, but because when I'm listening to you now, I just feel so proud of the woman that you've become. Everything that you had to navigate, go through, and I can see that you have always known who you wanted to be. You've always fought for what you wanted to be. And in my head, I'm thinking, this little girl who is moving from place, who is going through this, how is she so sure of herself? And you can't keep that secret from us, Miss Forget, because there are so many young girls out there who are thinking, is it even worth it? So how did you become that motivated, driven person despite the circumstances?
I think it was driven by the circumstances, like the way I was living life. I never liked that way. And I thank God we do away with it, right? So that was one pain point. I didn't like that kind of life. I had no option to change it, like through someone other than myself. Right. And then it took me a lot of courage when you feel like your world is crumbling, right? And nobody is supporting you. It's very, very difficult to stand firm on what you believe in.
Sure.
Right. But because I was determined to say, I want to change this. This is not how I want to live the rest of my life. Right. And I was just going to fight tooth and nail to just make sure that I have changed the situation. There were times I've cried a lot because I have no one who is supporting me. Some people saw me like, okay, I did like a lot of like works around children's rights. People thought that maybe I'm a bad influence. People who were supposed to believe in me were not also quite believing in me. I can't say they were totally not believing in me, but I think maybe because we had different ideologies, we could see the world in different lenses. This is what I want. Maybe people are just thinking that a girl child, maybe there is nothing more to expect other than marriage. And then I'm like, marriage to me is maybe the last thing to think about. We start with self-development. So I had no support like from the immediate type of people that should give me that kind of support till 2009, when my brothers showed up, come back to the family. And really from there, I've seen that there are men who could stand with women. So one of my brothers had with me through thick and thin. And even if everyone is against my ideologies, my brother will say, it's fine if you think it's okay with you, I can support you. Right. And then it would be unfair to say I have done this on my own. I think it has been God, day one. So I have told myself that even if people do not believe in me, but with God, I have support, I have the love that I need. I had that conviction that with God, everything is possible. And indeed, everything became possible. I learned in a very deep end of the world, in a very remote school, managed to get in a private school in the Americas, managed to get in one of the world's best universities in Edinburgh. Not because I was the most deserving, but if you understand where I come from, you just think twice about it. Yeah, so that's what I can say. It was a personal drive, that endurance, perseverance, and knowing what I wanted. It did not have a lot of sense, but I didn't want to be poor. Even today, I refuse to be poor.
Wow, please forget. I feel like saying amen. That was very, very profound. And I love it when I listen to stories as inspirational as yours, because you humanize success. Because when I read your bio at the start, agronomic engineer, sustainability, Chashi Foods, and all that. If a young girl who is in Zimbabwe looks at your profile on LinkedIn, they'll think, oh my goodness, I can never be her. Her life is so perfect. But when they hear you talk about the self-doubt, the things you had to do, believing in yourself, the personal drive, that's why we do this. And I think it's so amazing to hear you and looking at you now and everything you've become and hear about all that. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. So sorry, before I interrupted you and asked where it came from, you were telling us about high school and combinations and subjects. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. I think it was a crisis, and I found myself in a dilemma that I also really appreciate. Right. Sometimes we want something, but God knows what is the best for us. As I said, I wanted to be a vet, mathematics became a problem, right? I fought to get into agriculture. Now I'm so happy that, I did bio, I had geography, maybe I'm going to do biology, geography, and agriculture. But in Zimbabwe, so it goes by rule, because like vet is more like medicine in animals. And like for you to get admission, they want a B in mathematics. I didn't have that. So that changed everything. I picked accounting on my own, by the way. So I studied accounting on my own within 12 months, and I wrote in a pass.
Wow.
So my second option was for me to do management of business, economics, and accounting. The economics teacher, maybe to take you a one step backwards. So my brother fell sick and got stroked the whole right hand. So I had to go and stay with my sister-in-law, and unfortunately, my brother passed away. So that was in June. So I started A-level in June. So it was late start. And the combination, people didn't also believe that I could pick and do well. But there would be someone else who's going to believe in you. There were some teachers say she's a star. She can pick this. And there were some people, so the economics teacher said, like, economics is hard, and with this grade in mathematics, no. And the accounting teacher was like, I can have her because she did accounting and pass in 1 year. So the ecos teacher saying no. I couldn't also do the sciences because they said no. And I was left with arts. And my brother was very happy because he thought that I was going to be a lawyer. He had a dream to be a lawyer. And he did not meet the cut-off points, 14 points and 15. So my brother's an engineer, so he ended up being an engineer. So he thought that maybe I was going to be the first family lawyer. Still, it wasn't my passion. I did arts, and I was the highest. Within, I started in June and finished the rest good. So people also advised me that I can do law. So some people said I should do law. Some people said go to use it and do political science because I was good in debate. And with the way I pushed the advocates for children's rights, some people thought that I was going to make a good politician. So they say, go to use it, or they top-notch politicians comes from use it, and you have what it takes. But still, I was still clinging to that idea of wanting to be a vet. I went to work as a maid, actually, in Budiriro, in one of the Econet bosses. And the wife was willing to just, find me a way to get me a law place at Mid State University. It wasn't really, I was just trying to run away from that idea. So I said, I went to Great Zimbabwe. I was given social ecology. I don't know what is it about. But what was happening every time, I was just trying so hard, I was not getting something. Or maybe I get a place and then there is no school fees. So that's when this idea of going to Costa Rica, we ended up applying for a scholarship. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't know, because I didn't know how to use internet. I didn't know what people do when they're doing the Googling or search. That was another world for me. So CAMFED, that supported my secondary education, send women to Costa Rica for 6 weeks to learn about sustainable agriculture. When they came back, they talked all nice things about Edie University being a private university, loved the learning. People said life there is like living in a hotel when you go to the farm. So because I didn't have a laptop, they downloaded the application. Really, I wrote my application with my Eva Sharp 15 pen, and they helped me to type for it. And I did not get in. I was on the waiting list, but I think God was in the details. God was in the story. I spent 2 years after my A-level without going to uni. And I told you that I went to work as a maid. I also become a send rhyme teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, teaching kids, just helping. But those kids' parents, when they had that, when I got my offer to go to Costa Rica, it was within 3 weeks space of preparation. Some of them actually, I still remember the other lady come and gave me a wig, the other person, a slack. So I got it pulled support for me to just get the things that I had on my waiting list. So I could say God knew where I was supposed to be. I just also want to bring, you say you are a daughter of a pastor. If there was time in my life, I prayed, that was that period. I still remember going to Norton, praying and fasting, going to Murewa, I don't know, going to Westgate. I have gone loads of places, praying to the extent that one day I went to church and the pastor said, I don't know what you are fasting for, but if you still want to fast, maybe you can fast from maybe morning to around 9. But I was just praying God, you are my help. No one is going to come to rescue me. I don't have if I go and cry to my brother, he's trying his best, but he can't. So I think God knew where I was supposed to be, because Costa Rica to me served as a springboard. It was in Costa Rica where I discovered myself, where I discovered where I started understanding the challenges people at home faced, and started my first organization when I was in second year. We started Life Hope Future Association. When I was in third year, we started working on the idea of Chashi. And everything that happened in Costa Rica opened doors for me. I've traveled the world. I know most of the things happened when I came to Edinburgh. It was 1 year, but the foundation was laid in Costa Rica. I do have loads of awards, including global ones, right? I had my first global award 2023. Right, for women in agribusiness. I've been on global stages. I met also great people with huge names. It's only that I don't post things a lot, right? And I came to Edinburgh. I got my degree in 12 months. A lot of things also happened. 2 years down the line, after I graduated, I also won the Being Edinburgh Award. I just want to mention this to motivate someone. To say where you come from doesn't really matter. Where you are going, where you end up really matters the most. Who could think that girl who grown up on a farm could come and conquer in a world-class university? I did not go to an A school. I went to a school that is deep, in the rural area, where people teach English in Shona, right? So I'm trying to motivate someone. If I tell someone that I grew up in a rural area, at one point ndakatomboenda kunoita maricho, at one point ndakatomboshanda as a maid. I was a maid 3 times. Ndakati one time ndechinyeba ndakaita maid ka3. Right, ndaitoenda kumaricho kunorima kuti ndiwane mari yekutenga mabooks ndichienda kuchikoro. At one point I used to go to school barefooted. It's now a thing of the past, because if you see where I am, I also worked from different industries. So I had a vast experience of working in different industries. I started in community. I worked in Solidaridad network, which is in more than 54 countries. I had the opportunity of interviewing top countries, maybe ministers of agriculture of different countries. I worked in the food industry, and now I work in telecoms for one of the UK government's huge project, the Project Gigabyte. So to understand where I came from and where I am today, chinogona kubatsira umwe munhu rega ndinyatsoisa this one in Shona. Chinogona kukubatsira kuziva kuti nhasi you might be crying, you might be in that village and think that there is no hope. There is still hope. Because every time where I was facing all these challenges, I think last time I told you that I could see the glimpse of hope in the horizon. I could see a little bit of light in that dark tunnel. I didn't know how I was going to make it. I just believed in myself, believed in God. When nobody else could not, when there was none of the people to believe in myself, I did. And with the help of God, I made it. So anyone who is in the same situation, wherever you are, just know that you can. And there would be always people to support you. MasterCard just invested maybe over almost $500,000 in my education. It's money from people I have never met. So there will be someone, if you work hard, who is going to notice you and think that you deserve support and give you that support. I was working hard at school. At each point, it was people picking that she's working hard. She has a potential, and I got the help. And today I pay it also forward. I try to help someone in all small ways I can.
Wow, I have literal goosebumps. I think that was phenomenal. You know, it's Kawagatangira Akune Nyoko Ono Perera. I really believe that. And that's a message that I want people to understand. Because ultimately sometimes the only thing you have in life is hope. You can't ever give up. You cannot afford to give up. I think it's when people see women like you who really beat the odds, they can really believe it for themselves. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. You know, there is hope for you. It's one of my favorite scripture in the Bible says a live dog is better than a live dog is better than a dead lion. As long as you're still breathing, there is still hope. And I think your story personifies that so well. So thank you so much, Miss Forget.
Yeah.
So tell us about Chashi Foods. Tell us about the projects that you're working on now, and what's the plan for the future? What's in it for you? What's coming next?
Yeah, Chashi Foods is a bit low, like business generally in Zimbabwe is low because of the economic situation. But there is one thing that I'm very proud of for Chashi Foods. It's we started it as an organization to help farmers reduce post-harvest loss while we are doing business. We have had a fair portion of challenges, but it taught me resilience. Right. So if you see me maybe one day being a billionaire, don't be surprised because life had took me through the rough parts, business as well. So we started Chashi, as I said, when I was in third year, 2018, it officially launched in 2020 because 2019 I was still at school doing the prototypes. I went home. 2020, we launched Chashi. 2 months down the line. I won the best female, the best young entrepreneur award.
Wow.
So thanks to ILO and Swiss, the Swiss government and the Zimbabwean government as well. So it started really well. We have helped farmers get access to sustainable market and fair trade. And at one point, it was also difficult to us. At one point we went bankrupt, and I can't shy it off. Right, we are now trying to be. We are in our toes, but we also. I just want to say people you will be facing challenges in life, be it in business, be it at work. So I've also that was also a challenging time for. Just knowing that whole business you work so hard to put together. At one point, this is my first time I'm just talking about it publicly, that at one point we went bankrupt. And we survived. Storms come and we always survive, right?
We really,
right.
Really...
You always survive. I'm just telling this whole story raw so that you know that you can survive. We survived.
We really do survive.
Right. We really do survive. We are struggling, but we are still surviving. Right. And because of Chashi, it took me also on a global stage. I was a delegate in COP26 and had the chance to shine and showcase Chashi on a global stage. So that business in the village by a village girl to be on a global stage.
Wow.
Right. So just to have that hope, just to believe in yourself, you never know where you end up being on. So I really appreciate that. We are struggling, but there is still hope. That is why we are not giving up, right? Because I still see hope. It might not really working well today, but we never know how it will be like tomorrow.
Absolutely. So what's next? What does the future hold for you? What's next?
I'm trying to venture into consultants in sustainability. My hope is to support SMEs. Because there is a lot. I have been running a business. I had also run a charity organization. Right. I've also run some other like projects, sort of. So I've been also through the business phases for almost 7 years. So I'm no longer new to the startup. So I don't want to call myself a serial entrepreneur. It's too early for that. But I've gained significant experience in running a business, in running a charity, and also working like both in big businesses and in small businesses. So I think that with now all these rich knowledge that I've gained through business and through profession and understanding where is the money, because like these small enterprises, these small businesses, they are actually solving real global issues, and most of them do it for free. Social entrepreneurs, I think they would agree with me. We are just working on something because we are passionate about it. I do exactly the same. I work on everything that I've worked on, maybe not gain much on it, but because I'm passionate about bringing about change. I'm passionate about seeing things happening in a different maybe way. I'm passionate about contributing to solutions. But these solutions are with the youth. Imagine like how the people in rural areas actually farm the food we eat in the cities. Right? People in Mrewa farming the vegetables for people in Harare, but they do not have support. And there is someone also with money, but because these people lacks maybe, how do you pitch a business? How do you go and present a business idea? Where is money? There is always money flowing, but people are not ready. So how can we give people the right skills? How can we support those maybe with the right skills, but do not know how to tap into this global free hanging money for impact? So that's where this idea of a consultant stemmed from. It's not yet like a more established thing, but I'm working on it. I have like one company on board. It's a global company. So it has a branch in Africa. It has a branch here in UK. And the guys are also like selling in different countries. So I chose like, this is the company I'm supporting for free. Like, okay, I chose this company that in my consultants journey, I'm going to start with you. And I want to see it to the end. And maybe then from there I do something for money. But it's also like, it's for me, it's more for helping others. So I want this consultant that like there is more money like right now for green bonds. But you need to measure impact. How are you going to measure impact? Are you formally registered? Do you have things for sustainability? And in the African context, we lack data, we lack expertise. But these people are making a real difference in their community. Maybe they're supporting the youth, creating jobs for youth, but they're contributing to food and nutrition security. They're contributing to mental health issues. They're contributing to learning initiatives to support like education for all. Some are doing like different health programs to help people where like actually people who are responsible for helping us cannot do it for us. So we have like people who are doing that, but they're not scaling because they do not have money. They are limited. So these are the people like really I would want to support. Like, okay, how can we help you develop your business? How can we help you develop the skills that you can sell what you are doing? You can sell the story to an angel investor and give you money. Or how can you sell the story to someone who is giving money for impact and get it and amplify your work?
Wow.
So that's like, that's all about it. Career-wise, I want to work in UN, so we're still trying to find our way. We will get there.
We will.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Kwatava ndokur.
Exactly.
Kwatakwenda apa padhuze. And we really wish you all the best on your journey. I think the resilience, the hard work, the focus, and the discipline that has taken you this far, it will take you places. And I absolutely believe that you're going to do that and much, much, much more. Miss Forget, we are coming to the end of our conversation. And this is the part where I turn every guest into a motivational speaker for 5 minutes. Just leave us with some parting shots from everything, from Chinoi, from Lower Guruve to today. What lessons have you learned that you want to leave with the dreamers today?
Everyone has a potential to make it and succeed in life. However, most of the potentials are locked in. People have potentials, maybe they do not have resources to unleash, to untap that potential. I'm going to use myself here as an example. I had potential till I met opportunities, till I met people who were willing to support that potential to bring it to life. If I didn't find an opportunity, if I didn't find people to support me, I could have like everything that has happened, all the people that we have helped, that could have like ended in our village where I used to live. So what I want to say, everyone has a potential locked in them that is waiting for an opportunity and potential champion. So potential champion is someone who's going to just go and, I believe in this kid, I'm going to support them. So they champion the potential in that person. All the problems that we do have, cancer, I don't know, like climate change, malnutrition, hunger, the answer is within someone locked as a potential, and this someone might be in the deep end of the world, waiting for someone, waiting for a champion of opportunity to locate them. So what I would say, if you can, with your resources, with your love, and see someone who needs it the best, please help and support them. But I think the second thing I would want to say is, if when you support, like, I was one person who was supported, and like a lot of people have benefited, not only in Zimbabwe, wherever I have gone. I stayed in Costa Rica, people in Costa Rica benefited. I came here to the UK, people still benefit. So if you educate one person, they can do the magic, right? So I wanted to say, the world needs much love, right? And it's not love until we give it away. This world, like if we have love and kindness, this world could have been a better place. You might be a guardian to an orphan. You might be a guardian to a family member. You might be the parents. You might be a stranger to someone supporting someone. I think we really need more of that. Be kind. Right? Be kind. I think the best thing you can give to a person who is vulnerable is love and kindness. Right? Then I also want to comment on a girl child or on a boy child who might today is thinking that life is bleak. There isn't any hope anymore. Do not lose hope. There is always, when there is a will, when there is hope, there is a way out. Just believe in yourself. I want to give an example of diamonds. Diamonds are formed under high pressure, and they are precious stones. So there are some things that we find ourselves in, but we did not choose the situations. We find ourselves in that situation. Let not that situation discourage you. You have two options: to just say it is what it is and you sink, and or to rise above the situation, and just to change the narrative, just to change the trajectory. If there is one thing you can do for yourself, it's just to believe in yourself, just to believe that you can. You might not know how, you might not know how it will turn out as well, but just to believe, give it your best. You will never know how it will turn out for you one day.
Wow.
And then I might just to say, everyone, we have a collective responsibility to support a girl child, to support a boy child who is vulnerable or who need that support. It's a collective responsibility. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and be part of that village raising one child in need of support today.
Wow. Miss Forget, I'm taking away today two things. You have a part to play in making someone realize their full potential. And secondly, you don't know how, you may not know how, you may not see it, but believe in yourself. I always tell people that when I was growing up in Gokwe, I didn't have many role models. I didn't have a plan, but I knew that I deserved to be something in this world. I knew that I deserved the good things of life. And I worked hard, and I look back and I'm glad that I did. So it's so affirming and refreshing and inspirational hearing it from you, Miss Forget. Thank you.
Yeah, just to look at yourself. You have been to Oxford. Who doesn't want to go to Oxford? Even myself, I want to go to Oxford as well, right? So, right. So just to look at where you ended up. So, like that point, so like where you start, people like, obviously, Zimbabwe, guys, look at her. She's from Gokwe and an Oxford graduate. Like, we are saying Oxford.
Oxford, it's it's that journey of just believing in yourself. No, you don't even have to know anyone who went to Oxford. You don't even have to know anyone who did it before you. Just believe that. So Miss Forget, thank you so much for being such a phenomenal guest. Thank you so much. We want you back. We are going to come up with a segment to have you back.
I can come back. I can come back to say something, right? If you want me to share something, I'll just bring me back. We talk. We can talk all things life. We can talk all things supporting girls. We can talk all things supporting like our sisters Varikwataka Bakuma village. We can talk all things supporting someone who is in the transition, who is trying to get abroad, find their food. It's tough out there.
Absolutely. I think I'm thinking of having a panel of women visionaries where we can just have a conversation about how to support a girl. You know what? Me and you won't stop talking. That's a conversation I'm going to
for another time.
And we can talk about it. But for today, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being a phenomenal guest. I absolutely enjoyed hearing your story. I absolutely loved hearing about your journey. And I am absolutely inspired. For everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving comments, for subscribing. Your support has absolutely been phenomenal. Until next time, tune in so you don't miss a conversation with another dreamer ever again. Thank you so much.